What's up, guys? It's Veronica from Church Electronic, and I'm here with.
I'm Deer Park.
So, you have one of the most eclectic music tastes I've seen, reflected in both your DJ track selection and own discography. What type of music did you listen to growing up?
Growing up, I got most of my music taste from my dad, I think. He kind of put me onto a lot of the slowcore kind of stuff and the like 90s indie that I like. Bands like Bedhead, Guided by Voices, that kind of thing. I think as I got older, I kind of got into more internet music stuff I found digging on SoundCloud and tried to mesh the two things together. Yeah.
With those influences, do you find yourself kind of evoking their style or trying to make your own with that influence in mind?
For sure. I like a quote. I think it was a John Lennon quote, but it might be wrong. It might be misattributed. But he said that your originality as an artist comes from your inability to replicate your idols. And I think that's what I like to do. I hear a song I like and I try to make it, and I don't make it, but that's what makes it original.
I wanted to know, what's your journey with genre and how is your process today? Like, do you have to tap into different parts of your brain, or is it mood-based?
Definitely mood-based. Again, I feel like my inspiration more stems from just listening to other stuff. I hear something and I'm like, oh, I can make something like that if I try. And I think, being open to all genres and exposing yourself to all genres kind of enables you to have this unique clash of genre that sort of in and of itself creates this new sound.
I feel like your music not only explores genre, but also challenges artists you've collaborated with or produced for, like example, Echo 2K, Jack Zebra, Fake Mink, Angel, to tap into diversifying their own styles as well in order to fit into the musical world you've built. How have those collaborations come about, and how has it been working with them?
Yeah, first off, name dropping Angel is crazy. Shout out to my boy. I think that's again, I feel like I'm kind of saying the same answer over and over again, but I feel like one of the coolest things you could do as a collaboration is to kind of really to have this genuine blend of two styles. And I think trying to like alter my style to match this other artist, it kind of makes it a little boring. So that's kind of what I like to do. This Jack Zebra stuff, like, he's a great artist, like really, really smart, really knows what he likes. But that being said, getting him on these more like kind of softer ambient tracks kind of creates this like new interesting sound that I think is not even not to toot my own horn, but it's just something that only I could do, or anyone else that works with him, bringing their style to his. It's just very genuine, original sound. And I think it's kind of the most beautiful part of a collaboration.
Even though your work as Deer Park is mostly guitar-based and you're equally comfortable producing for underground rap and electronic artists, enjoyers of typically enjoy the other, myself included, what's your theory on why those genres feel so unexpectedly connected?
I feel like, to me, a big theme in modern music is nostalgia, and almost to a fault sometimes. But I think, again, guitar music, as a very broad umbrella term, is having a big resurgence right now. And I think a lot of that is people going back to sounds that were big in the 90s, me personally for sure, or being indirectly influenced by artists who got their sound from these old sounds. And as these like kind of new contemporary genres, like SoundCloud rap, stuff like that, these genres also kind of lean into this sense of nostalgia, and it kind of creates this easy blend despite the sounds being different. The feeling and the energy and the emotion behind the music is kind of the same.
Visually, what do you imagine your music to be the soundtrack to?
I feel like a train ride, like looking out the window on a train. That's where music hits the hardest for me.
That is also where I listen to your music the most, I feel like. What part of your music do you care most about, like, to be at the forefront?
I think when making songs, rather than focusing on the like kind of the meaning of the words, I just kind of try to create a sort of unspoken mood that the songs, convey. I feel like if you listen to the lyrics that I'm saying, that kind of don't mean anything, but I just kind of say the first words that come into my head when I'm writing. Again, in order to kind of evoke this general feeling rather than tell a story. To me, at least for me, it's the most genuine form of expression. So I think to answer your question, at the forefront, like for lack of a better term, just like the vibe. Yeah.
If you could make your music perfect at one thing, what would it be?
I don't think I would make it perfect. I think that would make my music really bad if it was perfect.
I read you went to Bard for music, and I feel like I don't meet a whole lot of musicians who have the musical theory or music education background that you have. How did you find your experience?
It was great. I'm not going to say I love Bard. I love being up there. I met a lot of cool people. Attending at school, I got lots of opportunities to, first start using recording studios, stuff like that. As for theory, I don't think I consciously really use theory in making music, but that being said, definitely subconsciously it's there. I think more so Bard affected, again, my emotional output on the music, rather than, I feel very strongly tied to that place in upstate New York in general. And that's where I kind of started making music. So maybe not because of the theory, but I think I have Bard to thank for a lot of that.
Your music feels non-descriptive in its origins, yet international at the same time. Where are you from, and how has that impacted your music?
Yeah, I'm from New York City. A lot of people think I'm British, but I'm not. And New York, it's just accessibility, really, and proximity to music scenes. And, just growing up, I would go to a lot of, when I was in high school, I would go to punk shows a lot, that kind of thing. And just kind of seeing live music over the years as my taste developed, just having access to this. I'm not gonna lie. I think the New York music scene is not in a great spot right now. I think places like London have a lot more people build each other up, bring each other up a lot more. Whereas New York, it feels a lot more isolated. And that's not to say there's not a ton of cool musicians. Like there's a lot of my friends, a lot of very talented artists in New York, but I think people should try to have more of a community. And it doesn't feel like it's there right now in New York. But there is music there, which is great, and there always will be, as long as New York is a thing.
You've talked about Parisian drone shows, and one of my favorite pictures of yours is DJing in a church. How was it playing in these unconventional spaces?
Yeah, that's set. The last time I was in Paris, that was the first time I was in Paris. That was probably the coolest thing I've ever done in my life, that show. Just really unique, incredible experience being in that 17th century cathedral. Church shows I feel very connected to. Growing up, I would my family went to church every Sunday. My mother would play violin at the church and sing in the choir. And even from a young age, I really enjoyed listening to music in environments like that are kind of naturally built for acoustics, stuff like that. When I was in school, my senior thesis concert was in the campus chapel. So that Paris show at the temple was felt like an amalgamation of all that, and just kind of like a grand, incredible.
Do you think religion is connected in some way to your music because you stated how you grew up going to church, or is it just something that's kind of in the back of your mind?
Definitely more so subconsciously, but yes. Again, just because of that kind of being the first time one of the first places I really would listen to music and actively listen rather than passively. Before I was even old enough to really have my own tastes, that was kind of my first introduction to music at all.
Craziest show experience?
The church show, but on the extreme opposite end of the spectrum, in April, I played at UCLA's Sigma Pi fraternity house, opening for Jack Zebra, Harto, Kuru, and Lucy Bedrock. Shout out to all of them. That was hilarious. In the back. Frat house, they were frat boys. It was awesome. It was so much fun.
Did you feel like you were back in college almost?
My college experience was very different. Bard didn't have fraternities, but it got me that fraternity experience. Yeah.
What are some of the projects we can expect from you this year and next?
I don't know. I'm always working on stuff. I have a lot of collaborations that I'm very excited to come out with. very soon, hopefully. A few London artists. Yeah, hopefully I have a project by the end of the year. I'm not sure. Can't say.
That was all of our questions. Thank you for joining
thank
us, Deer Park, and make sure you check out Deer Park's music.